My dudes, it is not Wednesday, unless you are watching this video on a Wednesday, in which case, it is Wednesday, my dudes. Why am I talking like this? Because we are looking at the game, How Many Dudes? You know, I actually used the word dudes quite a bit. I still do, I guess, these days. It's a very, very convenient thing to talk to someone. When you're just trying to talk to them and you're, trying to keep it cool and casual and relaxed when you're about to ask them something. And also if you don't really remember people's names very well, which I don't, you just call everyone a dude. And the people I used to work with used to mock me for that. Well, not really mock me, but they would start doing it in a way to try and subtly mock me, and it would just become a habit, and then everybody would just call everybody dude. And that was actually quite convenient for me. And I liked it, so I consider that a social win, which is not something I experience very often. Anyway, I am rambling. We are playing the game How Many Dudes, and this is probably one of the most polished games that I think I've played in a long time. It is one of those masterful gems, and we all want to see masterful gems. And let me show you some examples of why. First of all, the gorilla is slapping the dudes on the beat. I mean, that is a nice touch. I love that. And secondly, listen to the music. I don't know if it's loud enough for you, but if you listen to it when I go into the settings, the upper register stuff becomes muted. It goes into like the bass rhythms come through still, but the sort of the higher tones are kind of muted, as sound does when you go through, you close a door, because bass notes travel better through solid matter than higher pitch notes. I mean, that is such a nice touch. And then when you go back to the main menu, and suddenly all the high register stuff comes back again. I mean, how much of a nice touch is that? All right, so this is claiming to be a pre-alpha demo, which I don't think it is. I think this is a very well done demo. There is still a fair amount of late game balance and things that needs to be done it's been mentioned in the comments and they already know about. And it's wishlistable on Steam. And honestly, if there's a game that I really recommend you wishlist on Steam, this is one of it. This is a good game for that kind of thing. Let's have a look at that. I mean, look at the sheer volume of settings you have here. All of the quality of life, sound controls, gore, camera shake, ranch bouncing. I don't even know what the ranch is. I think that's just the in between battles stage. Just so many settings, full bonus points plus full score for the devs for this kind of stuff. I mean, this is beautiful, and it's like little quality of life stuff. So what is this game about? Well, it's about the question, questions like, if you had a gorilla, how many dudes, how many guys could the gorilla take on? How many would it take to beat a gorilla? If you had a gorilla and 100 dudes, who would win? It's, that kind of question. If you had 50 horse-sized ducks, and 50 duck-sized horses, who would win? It's those kind of questions. It's a very, very popular kind of party if you're like a little bit inebriated one way or another. It's those kind of questions that come out, and somebody decided to make a game about that, and it's absolutely brilliant, and I'm so happy to have found it. And I'm talking too long, so let's jump in and look at the gameplay. So we start with one regular dude, and we have $100. We can't spend at the moment because there's no sort of shop or anything like that. And he gains more bonus damage and hit points for every additional regular dude. We'll get more dudes in a bit. So on the left here we have our roster. On the top right we have our money. Bouncing in the middle here, I think we're in the ranch, where our dude is now just hopping around waiting for his fight. And we have at the bottom here the instructions for our first fight, and sometimes there will be two options here, and we can pick one or the other. One will be worth a little bit more money than the other, but it will be a little bit more difficult than the other, I'm assuming. So we have our regular dude. He has 100 hit points, he does 20 damage, and he runs at speed 20, and we have one of them, and he is happy and healthy and ready to go. He is first going to fight 10 toddlers, and it is at this point, I'll warn you, that this game is a little bit gory and not particularly, I guess, sort of viewer friendly. So if you're going to be triggered about this stuff, go watch one of my other videos. The vast majority of them are a lot sort of friendlier than this one. But anyway, let's if you're choosing to stay around and see the gameplay, let's watch the fight. And we start a fight, and he starts in the arena, and there's all these toddlers that he beats up, and you can turn the gore off, and you can see his health in the top left there, and his opponent's health in the sort of just below that, who he's fighting or who's beating down there, and the round and things like that. And we have won the round. None of us were knocked out. 10 toddlers were who we were fighting. We got 10. We dealt a sort of 180 damage. We took 49 damage. We got a reward of $100, and that is kind of the basic gameplay mechanic, as we keep having these fights. And then we claim the reward, and at the end of every fight we can post a flyer for a different kind of dude. We get 2 different options that I think are relatively randomized. So we can either get a ninja who becomes stealthy when they land a critical hit, becoming invisible to enemies for 1 second. So that's quite interesting. Assuming they crit a lot, they probably end up not taking a lot of damage because their enemies will just not be able to see them. Or we gain a Franken dude who has a bit more health, does a little bit less damage, is quite a bit slower, and has quite a good chance of cleave for hitting multiple targets. So that's quite nice. And he gains health and damage every time one of your other dudes falls unconscious, which is quite nice, I think, for the late game, where you have guys being knocked out, and then you have guys that just gets tougher and tougher for that case. So who are we going to pick? I really like ninjas. I love the ideas of them. So let's just go for the ninja, just for this demonstration. I'm not sure if I would ever take the Franken dude. He is undead, who don't care about their fellow dudes. Now this claims they use precision and coordinated attacks to work together and outsmart their opponents. I have no idea if that is actually a mechanic in the game or just part of the description. Anyway, let's get our ninja. So we post the flyer, we get a ninja, he's in there, and now we have 2 dudes. We have a ninja and we have a regular dude. And we have 2 fights coming up. We can either fight 4 little ducks and 7 toddlers, or we can fight 3 rats and 4 duck-sized horses. And as you can see, there's a different reward for them. I think as much as possible, if you can, especially in the early days, fight the fight with the most money, because you can use it to buy some cool stuff later. So it kind of gets you ahead of the curve. Although, like I said, this game has some balance issues, and I think by the time you hit about round 80, you're just going to get grinded down, which the developers are fully aware of, and I think the full game is going to address that quite a bit. So don't worry too much about it. Just come and play the game. Let's have a fight. Here's our enemies, here's our fighting. Our ninja is, in fact, our regular dude is doing some serious work, although taking a lot more damage. I don't know if I noticed the ninja turning invisible. Anyway, we won the fight. Regular dude got 3 kills, ninja got 4. Did a little bit less damage. Took a little bit less damage. 9 damage prevented because he evaded it. That's pretty good. Good job, guys. Came the reward. We got a second ninja. Alright, so we didn't even get to post a flyer. We just got a second ninja. And we found a relic stash. Relics are just like sort of universal upgrades, so we get a random choice of, and at some point we can also buy a thing that allows us to re-roll this if we don't like any of them. So we can either get 10% extra damage, or we can get 10% extra health, or we have this thing when you take damage that drops your health below 30%, you just get 100% cleave. I mean, these are all very, very cool, but I think I'm just going to go for the universal health kit. Let's just get that boost to our health. So all of our guys are now 10% healthier. And we're looking for our next fight with our 2 ninjas and our 1 regular dude. Let's go fight. And our dudes are fighting, the ninjas are doing potent stuff. Oh, and they took down our dude. Oh no. Alright, that's the last time I played. I definitely did not get a dude nuts early, but then I had knights then. We were a different kind of person. So our regular dude got knocked out. But he did some good damage before he got taken down, and our ninjas mopped the rest up pretty easily. So let's claim reward. Right, so now we have a choice of 3 times. Oh, this is interesting. I hadn't seen this one before. A warlock dude. He has made a pact with an evil being. 90% of his damage gets stored to his pact and spread out over 4 seconds. This will combine well with the healer class. But we don't have a healer yet, so I'm steering away from him. Every 3 seconds, the samurai dude dashes to the lowest health enemy on the battlefield to help finish it off. I quite like that. And then we have the knight. The knight is a summoner, a taunter, and you can get some nice relics that boost his health, but that's if you get those relics. I think I'm actually going to go for the knight because he's a good way to kind of concentrate damage. He has very high health. I think he'll work well with the ninjas as well. So yeah, let's go with the knight. Let's get a knight. And our dude is unconscious. And you can shift the order of your roster, which doesn't make much difference at this point, but there are certain relics that will only affect like the first or the last dude in your roster, so you do need to shift it around. Now we have a knocked out guy. Now apparently he will eventually wake up, and you can also get what they call dude juice, which will wake him up immediately or gives a boost to guys who are out in combat if you use it in the middle of combat, which is very nice. Oh, and just looking at more of the UI, okay, on the right here we have our relics, the things that are giving us bonuses. So we've got a universal healthcare, we still have money at the top right, and then this is our sort of progression, our pathway. So we have fought certain fights. We're going to fight a round. Next fight, a merchant, so we can spend some of our ill-gotten gains. Next fight, okay, then we get a flyer, that's next, and then there's the next fight. And then we get a relic. I think it'll be at the end of that fight. Then our next fight, and we'll get a merchant again and a relic, and so on. So yeah, so this is our progression right to the end here, round 20, where we get a serious hardcore fight. But hopefully we will have refined ourselves enough to get through that, and then we'll, I think, go through this routine yet again. And then just keep every 20 rounds fight a boss, which is why I suppose the boss at the end of level 80 is a little bit too insane to fight. Yeah, anyway, let's pick our hard fight again. 3 gooses, 6 duck-sized horses. Let's pitch in there. Okay, now our knight is doing his taunting, and he's getting knocked out. Alright. Well, our ninjas will have to mop things up again. So we've gained our knight, we've immediately lost our knight. Alright, well anyway, hopefully he'll wake up soon, or we can get the thing that wakes him up at some point. Let's get another knight in there. Oh, and we've got a free dude juice. Alright, so this is our first merchant. He's giving us something for free. So let's take that, get that. And now we have a choice of a couple of relics. We can use a consumable, which is interesting. It's quite nice. Your dudes attune their spirits by taking some mushrooms, right? It's only $50, so we might consider it. It'll just get added to our consumable list, and so we can either use it during battle or after battle. I think this is a during battle one, because your health, I think, is maxed out after battle, so don't use it then. Anyway, let's look at our relics. We have a chest plate. When a knight dude takes damage greater than 10% of his max hit points, he gains temporary health equal to 50% of the damage taken for 3 seconds. Okay, that's very nice when you're fighting against a boss that hits hard, but not hugely helpful for a regular fight, I don't think. Ablative shield. When a knight dude receives healing, he gains temporary health equal to 100% of the healing received for 3 seconds. That is powerful. That we are going to get. We can't get healing at the moment, so I suppose we can use our spores. But we are going to get like healer dudes at some point, and then this will really come into its own. So let's buy that. And I think I'm not going to buy the strange spores. I'm going to save for my next set of relics. Alright, these guys, do I consume my dude juice? Yeah, let's bring these guys back. Alright, so we got our people back again. We have lost our dude juice sadly, but we will get more. What is this? Oh, it's the merchant dude. Okay, so we can bring the merchant back again when he's here. That's what he looks like. We have our 2 relics, and we're going to fight some 13 rats. Alright, let's get in there and beat them up. Alright, our health isn't dropping too badly. One knight is getting a little beaten up, but he took him down just fine. Alright, yeah, so the more knights you have, the more the taunts will split the enemies up. Alright, so who do you... Alright, let's get as many knights as we can. So we have 3 knights now. 30 little ducks. Yeah, let's fight them. And yep, they've split up well. None of our people seem to be taking huge amounts of damage. So the knight does a taunt that tries to get a certain number of enemies to attack him. So he is kind of where you want to focus your damage to. And hopefully we're going to get healing dudes soon, because I'm really looking forward to that. Alright. Okay, these are different healing dudes that I haven't seen before. Alright, so we got the warlock. We don't want the warlock. We've got the Spartan dude. Has a 20% chance to block attacks aimed at nearby dudes. That's quite useful. We have a healer. Heals the 3 most injured dudes every time the medic dude deals a total of 50 damage. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The other one is the sort of the cleric, you know, the fantasy healer. Hopefully we'll get them as well. And they, again, just every so often cast a heal out. So hopefully this will combine with the ablative shield and just really max out the way those knights go. Alright, so we have a healer now. He's in there with the others, and we're going to fight a whole bunch of toddlers. Sorry, toddlers, but this is what you signed up for, I guess. I'm not quite sure how they got toddlers to fight us, but we'll get him. We'll get him, no problem. Oh, we got some healing in there. Oh, our one knight has taken quite a beating there. He obviously didn't get a heal, but he did absolutely fine. Nobody got knocked out. No. Can we? All right. Cool. Well, we won the fight. We got some more money. Let's get another knight in there. Let's just get all of the knights, and we got a free dude. Cool. A regular dude wandered into the ranch. So we got a bonus person. We're going to fight 26 duck-sized horses. Where are we? Is this a relic fight? Okay, so yeah, so at the end of this fight we're going to get another chance at another relic. So let's beat up on these horses. How is our health doing? Dropping fast. Our knights have done some good taunting. Rest of our people are not being hurt. And I see we got some heals in there, which should have done some good stuff. Healing done 60, yeah. Alright. Alright, good to see. Glad to see it. It was a good fight. Hey, let's get another knight dude in there. And we have our relics here. If a medic dude is hit by damage for more than 50% of his max hit points and survives, he heals himself for 50%. Okay, that's pretty good. So that just prevents your medic dude from being beaten down too quickly. This is just a straight boost to the max hit point of our knights. And a crit chance thing. I'm just gonna boost the knights' hit points. Yeah, let's just make these guys tanks. Like to see it. So if we click on these dudes, it normally tells us when they're being given effects. But I mean, look at that! Look at that hit points. We're smiling. All right, get in there, knights. Beat them up. Are we doing any heals? Yeah, there was some heals there. I mean, we have just like an army of knights now that just are marching around the place and slaughtering things, which I love to see. And yep, we did good. Hey, another knight. Nice, 6 of them. Okay, and the merchant is here, so we can buy ourselves a dude juice, I think, just in case we have unconsciousnesses that we need to resurrect. And then we have strange spores if we want to go for them again, but I don't. And then again we have 2 relics, so we have death mask. Oh, nice. And we have pumpkin latte. That just reduces health potion consumable. Do you think this counts as the health potion? I don't know. I don't like the pumpkin latte thing, so we're gonna go for the death mask. When it heals a dude is below 25% health, that dude gains 30% attack, increased attack speed, and 15% toughness for 3 seconds. I mean, that sounds fantastic. We definitely love that. And you know what? I'm going to stop there. I'm going to say you guys really need to come and play this game. The link will be in the description. And yeah, I think it's something well worth playing. And so I'm not going to show any more gameplay. I don't even know if I can give too much critique here. Really, everything, the stuff that I normally critique is absolutely beautiful. It's styling. If I dismiss the guy, do I get... Where... How do I go to... Oh, okay, so there will be how to get back to the main menu. Yeah, and then you can just continue a run. The run is probably saved in your cookies and things like that. So if you clear your cookies, it'll destroy it, or you can just start a new run, ignoring the one you're on. Yeah, no, this UI is absolutely beautiful. I find very little to talk about the UI. There isn't really much of a tutorial, but I think the gameplay was simple enough that even kind of novices to the game will figure it out pretty quickly. Was there a tutorial? No, not really. I mean, there's help pop-ups and things like that. I suppose it counts as tutorial elements, but I found it very easy to get in and play this game, so I don't think it's a factor. Gameplay is fun. The art is fantastic. Oh, let's escape out of the full screen and scroll down for something that I'm sure many of you will love to see, and that is the no AI tag. So this is done without AI, I believe, which is very, very important to a lot of people at the moment, and I think something that we do need to consider in a lot of stuff. You know, I had a look at that AI game lately, and people are quite upset that I even looked at the game. I think it is important to look at AI games, but I think it is also equally important to support those who are going, no thank you, I do not want AI. Yeah, bear that in mind. Just remember that point and consider it. Right, yeah, art is absolutely fantastic. Sounds are fine. I suppose the combat sounds could be a little more visceral, but I mean, this is supposed to be a comedy element. So, I mean, like, we're beating up toddlers and things like that. And I know why, it's because it's a popular sample of the how many dudes, you know, would fight how many of the other thing question. So that's why the toddlers are in there. It's a brave choice by the devs to go with that. I like it. I think it's funny. I think it's clever. Yeah. No, this game is smiling, so I'm not going to give any more critiques other than just saying remember that there are some balance issues in the later stages of the game, and this is a pre-alpha demo. Please come and wishlist it on Steam and look out for upgrades to it. Yeah, and that's all from me. So I'm just going to say, if you liked this video, please hit the like. If you disliked it, hit the dislike, and then leave me a comment telling me why you liked it or disliked it, or just leave me a nice comment. I mean, if you guys are of minds to make someone's day a little bit nicer, trust me, every time I get a nice comment from you guys, that does it to me. Or leave a nasty comment. I'll probably just ignore it, but yeah, I appreciate the comments anyway. The engagement helps me, and it helps you guys because it tells YouTube you're interested in gaming related videos. Always train your YouTube algorithm. Yeah, and I mean, that's it. Subscribe if you want to see me review more indie games, which is the main thing I do around here. I show off an indie game that I think is worth looking at, that I think is interesting, that I call a good game, because interesting is good, and good is interesting. And that's kind of what I do. So thank you for watching, and hit that subscribe if you want to see more of that. And I'm going to do other stuff as well, but we're still working that out. Probably just second looks at games for now. I have a few lined up that I'm going to take a second look at, and probably going to find some more in the coming days or weeks. Yeah, so once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.